Welcome to Fintech Chat and News, presented by Tier 1 People, leaders in fintech executive search. Follow us on your favorite podcast player or Fintech Chatter TV on YouTube.
Welcome to Fintech Shots, brought to you by Fintech Chatter, your regular dose of fintech good vibes and positivity. And I'm joined today by Yanir Yakutiel of Loomi, who's got some fantastic news to share. Yenir, great to have you back on.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Mate, so you got some great news to share. Big announcement just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, we closed our Series C. First close, we raised $15 million, which we're super happy about. A raise is always hard and is always a good news to close it. I think, especially in the current environment, we're especially pleased. We've got a new cornerstone investor. It's Unveils. It's an insurance company out of Israel, which are a new investor and are quite strategic for us, given that we're a balance sheet business. And we also have very strong support from our existing shareholders as well. So it's sort of a mix of the two.
Unbelievable. So look, and I say unbelievable because everything that I'm seeing, right, is first of all, funding levels have dropped back to 2017 levels, right? So nobody's investing. The investment that is happening is typically old investors trying to keep the business going as we get through this period. And you've been able to secure new investors. Like, how on earth have you done that?
It's my irresistible
What's your
charm.
secret sauce, mate? That's it.
Listen, if I could bottle it, right, like I wouldn't have to raise capital. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. We've been working at it for a long period of time. I think another part of it is something that we've actually been focused on actually from inception, but has only come back into fashion very, very recently, and that's the focus on profitability. So we've always aimed at building a profitable business as quickly as we can, and now we are profitable, but that is something that's really in our DNA, whereas, sort of up until about 6 months ago, businesses were slightly more focused on growth as opposed to profitability. And when that, investors' appetites changed, businesses struggled to adjust, right? They had like massive burn rates, they sort of engineered themselves towards growth. So we balanced between those two, and we were and we continue to be a high growth business, but there was always really strong focus on unit economics, cost control, and a path to profitability. And we managed to, close this round after we've become profitable. So that's definitely been a big part of it. I think another part of it, as any founder will tell you, is, you've also got to be lucky and you've got to be very, very persistent.
Fantastic. Now, when you were last on the show, which I think maybe it was about 2 years ago, one of the things that really impressed me and, kind of stood out to me was that you were building a platform from scratch, not, as we see with a lot of kind of lending style fintechs, a website that tracks through to a call center and puts through a sales funnel, but a true platform. How have you managed to, I guess, kind of work towards profitability, keep costs down, and build something bespoke at the same time?
It's been very hard, and, I'm obviously sort of the face of this, and, I'm on the news when we do the raise and I get invited to the podcast, but it's actually the amazing team that sort of sits behind me and does all of that. So I've been very, very fortunate to have like an amazing team, both at the very senior level, but, sort of cascading down, and that, helped us build something that's truly unique. Now, going back to your question, which sort of relates to my previous comment, we understood from the get-go that technology is a differentiator, but technology is also a gamble because it's very expensive to develop. And when you start up as a startup, you got seed funding, get a pot of capital, and, you sort of want to get runs on the board. And it's very, very tempting to sort of push a lot of that into growth and marketing and distribution and sales, and sort of try and retrofit the back end afterwards. And a lot of companies have done that. And in fairness, a lot of companies have done that and have been successful. But we've taken a different approach. We focus on the back end first and said we're building an enterprise grade company and system from day zero, and we'll grow into it as opposed to the other way. And again, how, markets change, investors, appetites have changed, and now investors are looking for businesses that have differentiated technology, that have proprietary technology, that once you scratch the surface, it's not sort of run off of an abacus. And I think that put us in a good position in the current environment to differentiate ourselves and also to give investors comfort that once you get to that point and you've put in the big initial outlays in developing that, let's call it platform, broadly defined, but sort of this holistic system, it provides you much better unit economics and operational efficiencies going forward, because you're starting to get those economies of scale.
Yeah. Now we're obviously in I mentioned before, funding levels are down. We talk about the fintech ecosystem and it's struggling, globally, right? Not just here in Oz. But also I was interested, Yenir, you've got a lot of clients in the kind of small to medium sized range. Are you seeing kind of more broadly that, economic challenges for your clients as well?
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, right? So we have definitely started seeing and continue to see, a variety of factors that in the short term have a negative impact on businesses. First and foremost, still, even though we're normally out of COVID, is a labor shortage. Businesses are struggling to hire. Second is interest rates, supply, and cost of living, discretionary spending is going down. So there's definitely businesses, and a lot of businesses that are struggling and struggling a lot. And that's a reflection of also households and consumer struggle. Now, the benefit that we have as a business like Lumi, we're quite bespoke, right? If you're a bank, let's say one of the big four banks, they're totally exposed to Australia, all the states, all the industries, all the households. When Australia goes up, they go up. When Australia goes down, they go. We are much smaller, right? And we can actually trim ourselves to adjust our exposure based on the house view on various industries, geographies, etc. So again, I won't go into this technological podcast, but our technology enables us to underwrite and be very discerning in the provision of credit, right? So without being sort of flippant on those businesses and households that are suffering, that's, it's true pain and it's something that's very unfortunate. But there are a lot of businesses that are doing just as well as they did before, and some are actually thriving. And it's actually sort of discerning between the good businesses and the bad business that allows a company like Lumi to actually gain a competitive edge, actually in a time like this, where we can continue to grow and to continue to grow profitably and support those businesses that are trading well through these very, very challenging times.
Awesome. Now, as you mentioned, there are some businesses that are thriving as well. And look, from a career coaching perspective, I always would encourage people that when times like this, you want to really be careful around considering who you join next, and you got to pick the winners. Obviously, with the platform that you've built, but now this next round of funding, I'm assuming there's going to be some kind of growth plans and perhaps some hiring from yourselves, Yenir. What types of people are you going to be looking out for? Yeah,
so there's definitely a lot of growth planned for us over the next sort of 12, 18, 24 months. We'll be hiring in two major centers of the business. So one is on the front of house, so sales, customer acquisitions, business development broadly defined across those various functions. And the second is on the credit and support. Those functions grow not in total lockstep because, as I said, we've got the operational efficiency and economies of scale, but they do grow in a more correlated trajectory to the growth of the business or the balance sheet. We will be making also hires, but sort of more moderate levels on the technology.
Awesome. And where can people find out more about careers at Loomi?
So you can come to our website. That we've got a careers page. You can email recruitment@lumi.com.au. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. We're a Sydney-based business. We're great.
Are you still at Bondi?
No, we actually moved to the CBD, but this is a podcast, so you don't sort of see, even though we've got a camera now, like we're just opposite Hyde Park. We probably got the best rooftop in Sydney. So, Dexter, you're invited, and anyone else regularly have drinks on a Friday afternoon. And one of the things that we sort of have is the opposite problem from most other companies is everyone wants to come and work at the office. So we actually had to ration the desks and go agile because we've got people coming in all the time because they like it so much. So so
awesome. Well, Yenir, fantastic news. Thanks for sharing it with everybody, mate. And look, really pleased to see you kind of pushing from strength to strength. And it's just another really great example of, well thought out, well executed business plans, and not being tempted to kind of follow the latest trend or the latest thing, and just sticking true to what you believe in and what the problem is that you're solving.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the kind words, and thank you for having me.
Well, folks, thank you very much for tuning in. As always, you can connect with me, Dexter Cousins, on LinkedIn and Twitter. If you're looking to hire Tier 1 people, you can reach out to me on those platforms or check out tier1people.com/contact. Alternatively, if you are on the market looking for a job, make sure to follow me on LinkedIn, where each day I'll be posting job hunting tips, and you'll also see us mention any opportunities that we're working on. Until the next episode, keep safe. Fintech Chatter is produced by Tier 1 People, leaders in fintech executive search. We'll find world-class leadership talent to build world-class fintech ventures. And you can find us at tier1people.com.